Imagine you are a struggling salesman in your 50s. You have an old cat. You have terrible sales. You have diminishing dreams. Every diner you walk into has the doors closed in your face. Until the day you find a small burger stand in California. It's fast, efficient, and revolutionary as well. And you immediately see something that the owners of this restaurant don't. This small restaurant has the potential to be the largest fast food empire in the world. But there's a catch. To make this vision a reality, you might have to take the idea away from the people who came up with it. This is the incredible true story of Ray Kroc, the man who took the small burger stand and built it into the empire that is McDonald's, one of the most powerful entities in the world. However, the way that the dream will become a reality is through ambition, strategy, and decisions that will change the course of many lives for good. The story behind the creation of the global fast food giant McDonald's is the story that movie The Founder, 2016, reveals. Let's get into the story of the film. The story opens in 1954. Ray Kroc basically works as a traveling salesman. His job is driving from town to town and trying to peddle a bulky device called the multi-mixer. It makes 5 milkshakes at a time. It is a device that Ray thinks will revolutionize restaurants.
5-spindle multi-mixer with patented direct drive electric motor will greatly increase your ability to produce delicious frosty milkshakes fast. Mark my words. What do you say?
Nah, but thanks anyways.
However, the restaurants have other ideas. Ray goes from restaurant to restaurant, trying to convince the owners of the benefits of the multi-mixer. Unfortunately, the owners have no interest in the device. They dismiss him immediately. Even when Ray goes into restaurants that are busy and have lines of people complaining about the service, the owners show no interest in his device. Frustrated, Ray puts the bulky device in the trunk of his car and goes back to his cold lunch. He wonders if his years of pursuing business opportunities have been a waste of time. Motivation that refuses to die. Ray calls his wife from a small hotel room that night. The conversation that follows indicates that the lady has heard all the ambitious plans from her husband before, but none of them have led to any kind of success. After the phone call, Ray lies down on the bed and listens to a self-help audio that talks about the importance of persistence. According to the audio, all successful businessmen never give up, no matter the number of failures they encounter. This advice resonates with Ray. He chooses to move on despite the numerous failures, hoping to find the opportunity that will change his life. But everything changes when his secretary, June Martino, calls him to report an unusual order. A restaurant in California has ordered 6 multi-mixers at once. This surprises Ray because no restaurant has ever ordered that many mixers. 6 mixers would mean that the restaurant is making 30 milkshakes at once. Thinking that it might be an error, Ray calls the restaurant. The man he talks to confirms that it is indeed an order. Curious, Ray decides to go to California personally instead of shipping the mixers. He is intrigued by the place that is making that many milkshakes. Discovering the revolutionary burger stand. When Ray reaches San Bernardino, he discovers something astonishing. He observes that a long line of customers is waiting in front of a small fast food restaurant called McDonald's. These customers are families and children, all of whom are waiting for their meals. Ray decides to join the long line of customers and asks the woman in front of him why the restaurant is so popular. The woman gives him a surprise answer. The restaurant has very fast service. When Ray reaches the counter, he orders a hamburger, fries, and a milkshake. Before Ray moves away from the counter, his food is already prepared. He is astonished by the fast service at the restaurant. He has never seen such fast service in all his years of visiting fast food restaurants in America. Curious about the restaurant's modus operandi, Ray observes everything while enjoying his meal on the bench. It is a system that is quite different from the diner restaurants that Ray has encountered. Instead, the food comes in disposable paper wrappings that are thrown away after the meal. Ray is soon introduced to the restaurant's owner, McDonald, who is cleaning the parking lot himself. The McDonald brothers' brilliant system. Inside the kitchen, Ray sees an incredible system. The employees work like an assembly line in a factory. One person grills the hamburgers, another person adds the toppings, and another person adds the wrapping. The hamburgers are made in batches so that customers do not have to wait long. Dick McDonald explains that he has designed the system after carefully thinking about how the restaurant could be made faster and more efficient. Every movement within the kitchen has been carefully planned for the purpose of saving time. Ray soon realizes that the brothers have created something revolutionary. However, later that night, Ray invites the McDonald brothers to dinner and asks them to share their whole story. The brothers reveal that their journey has not been easy. They began by opening a movie theater, but the business failed during the Great Depression. They later opened a diner that initially performed well, but eventually encountered difficulties. Teenagers hung around the parking lot, the waitresses spent too much time talking to the clients, and the service slowed down. However, the brothers wanted to resolve the issues. They analyzed the data and found that the clients purchased only 3 things: hamburgers, fries, and a drink. They removed the other items from the menu and designed the kitchen in such a way that they served the 3 items quicker than anyone else. To improve their design of the kitchen, however, the brothers did something unexpected. They drew a layout of their kitchen on a tennis court, then had their employees pretend to cook as they tried different positions and movements. After many attempts, the brothers were finally able to create their Speedy system. The Speedy system enabled them to prepare food quickly, consistently, and efficiently. After implementing it in their restaurant, customers arrived in huge numbers, making their small burger stand a huge success. That night, Ray cannot fall asleep as he thinks of all the possibilities. He is convinced that the McDonald brothers have a system that has the potential of revolutionizing the fast food industry. The next day, Ray goes to the McDonald brothers with his idea of franchising.
Franchise. Beg pardon? Franchise. Franchise the damn thing.
He tells them that they can have hundreds of McDonald's outlets all over the country, all using the same system. The brothers are initially not convinced by the idea of franchising, as they have tried it in the past and have found it difficult to ensure quality. However, Ray is very convincing when he tells them that McDonald's can be a symbol of American culture. After a lot of persuasion, the brothers agree to let Ray handle the franchising. The first McDonald's franchise. Ray mortgages his home to open the first McDonald's franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois. Ray personally oversees every aspect of the restaurant to ensure that it conforms to the rigid guidelines set by the McDonald brothers. The restaurant is successful, proving that the system works outside of California. Ray soon realizes that some of the franchise owners are not complying with the rules and are thus tarnishing the image of the McDonald's brand by offering different items on the menu and not keeping the restaurant clean. Ray makes the decision to stop selling his franchises to wealthy investors who simply view the McDonald's restaurants as an investment. Instead, he starts selling his franchises to hard-working middle-class couples who will actually run the McDonald's restaurants personally. This is an extremely successful decision, and new McDonald's restaurants begin popping up all over the country. Yet despite his rapid growth, Ray is facing financial difficulties, since his contract only allows him a percentage of the profits of the franchise. Banks do not lend him money. At such an opportune time, financial expert Harry Sonneborn comes up with an ingenious idea. He proposes that McDonald's does not only sell food, but that it also owns the land on which the food is being served. This way, it would make money from the land as well. Ray quickly implements this idea, and McDonald's becomes not only a successful fast food chain, but also a real estate giant. As McDonald's is becoming larger, the relationship between Ray and the McDonald brothers starts to worsen. This is because he starts to ignore their policies in an attempt to make the company larger and increase his profit. However, the situation worsens to the extent that the McDonald brothers disagree with him over his decision to change certain ingredients. Finally, Ray makes an offer to buy the entire company from the McDonald brothers. The brothers, recognizing that they cannot compete with the growing number of franchisees, agree to sell the company for $2.7 million. The brothers, however, ask that the promise of the profits from the sale be made in writing. Ray agrees, but only orally. The brothers do not receive the payments after the sale. With full control of the company, Ray Kroc expands the business of McDonald's throughout the U.S. and eventually the world. The golden arches of the restaurant become one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. Millions of people eat at McDonald's restaurants every day. The legacy of Ray Kroc. In the final scenes of the film, Ray prepares a speech in front of a mirror in his mansion, ready to meet a future American president. He looks back on his life and tells us that the reason for McDonald's success is not only its burgers and fries, but also its name, which sounds very American. So, the Founder movie is a compelling and intriguing story about the complexities of success. While Ray Kroc didn't create the concept of McDonald's, he certainly recognized the potential of the McDonald brothers concept and ran with it. One of the things that this film will make you think about is the question of whether Ray Kroc was a visionary entrepreneur and the founder of the global brand that is McDonald's, or if he was simply a ruthless business person who hijacked the vision of someone else. It will depend on how you want to look at the history of one of the most iconic companies in the world. If this video inspired you, like, share, and subscribe our channel. See you in next video.